Quintessential Quintuplets, but I speedrun through the story with my bad jokes and cringy humor because I have nothing better to do. The story starts with the main character getting woken up by a girl that tells him his bride is ready for the ceremony. Who the fuck sleeps at his own wedding, by the way? He explains what he was dreaming about, and then the show transitions to that retrospection. The very first words he says already give viewers a heads up that he is mentally unstable and obsessed with getting good grades, by him buying food and explaining an influencer type food hack to get it for cheaper. He then walks to his table while being roasted by other students, only to meet girl A already there. The two of them have a conversation that doesn't really go anywhere, but the point is that the girl finds out that the guy is a genius, and the guy finds out that the girl is an idiot. Uesugi, his name is Uesugi by the way, runs away from her after calling her fat, and in the middle of his escape, his sister texts him to drop everything and call her, and him being a simp with a sister complex, walks to the bathroom and does it. Raiha, the sister, tells him that their dad found a job for Futaro, so he can pay off his family's debts. What a great father. The job is being a tutor for $5 of a rich guy, and surprise surprise, one of them is the girl he met before. Quickly after, he meets the other girls in the montage of him being stupid and runs to the girl's apartment, making enemies of Nino and Miku. The idiot stalker explains to Itsuki that he is a tutor and he will be teaching her. After that, the other four girls join the conversation and she tells him that they are sisters. Yotsuba decides that she will be helpful and introduces Uesugi to the doors of the girls' rooms because they locked themselves in. First goes Itsuki, the first victim of this being a harem genre. Yotsuba, best girl. If you disagree, then first of all, I'm sure you'll tell me why in the comments. And second of all, fuck you. Miku, everyone's favorite. I don't know why, but it might have to do something with her liking old fat men. Not sure though. Nino, a sadistic person with a femdom fetish that also dreams about a bad boy that will accept her as she is. And finally, Ichiki, the porn star. She also is the oldest one of them by a few seconds and reminds everyone of that every few seconds, but also wants the best for her sisters. After that, Uesugi still somehow manages to get everyone in the living room to study, or at least pretend, because they ain't doing shit. Also, did I mention that Nino is a fucking psychopath that somehow got sleeping drugs that work almost immediately? No? Damn. Well, now you know. Futaro wakes up in a taxi at his home, and his first thought was that he had to pay for the taxi, not even knowing where he is. But thankfully, Itsuki happened to be at the car, and she paid for it. Redhead number 1, well, 5 actually, once again tries to make Futaro resign from his job, proving that she doesn't know anything about life and thinks that everyone has money and is spoiled by their parents. Raiha runs out of the house and tries to manipulate Itsuki into coming to their home and eating dinner with them. Raiha and Futaro turn out to both be psychics and manipulate Itsuki into keeping her tutor as a pet so they can make more money. And so the episode 1 ends here, with another vision of the marriage of the main character and one of the Nakano idiots. In the next episode you find out that it's actually all of the girls that are stupid, and not just Itsuki. Uesugi makes them do a test to see how well they do and sets a passing grade for 50%, which they all fail. He also finally figures out that they don't really like him when he asks them a bunch of questions and then they just dip. Which I mean, who could have thunk after they were dicks to him for the entire episode 1? Except Yotsuba. After some more assholery from the sisters, Futaro manages to talk to the more mentally stable ones about life, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to pay attention. They did talk a bit about love, however, and the result is that he doesn't really care about it. Based, and that Miku apparently has a crush on someone. And immediately after that, our main boy gets a note from Miku telling him to go to the rooftop, and I know what you're thinking, but no, he ain't about to get some bitches. She just answered the question he asked him in the morning. It turns out that she's kind of a history nerd and likes, dictators, apparently. He manipulates Miku to turn to the dark side by giving her warlord trivia and telling her they're gonna go over Japanese history next time, to which she agrees and buys him a matcha soda, the same one she was drinking in the beginning of the episode. Which, yo, romance. They gonna date, right? No. It was a trap, because life is bad and fuck you. She asks him a question, which, I don't know what that means, and neither does he actually, so he rents out a bunch of history books to learn about it and makes it a competition, like if he doesn't figure it out he'll fucking die or something. Which he probably will, to be fair, he won't have any money to live off of if he doesn't. Miku once again dips and runs away, which all of them do quite a lot actually, and when Uesugi runs after, he runs into Yotsuba apparently, who's wearing Miku's clothes, and points into the direction that Miku ran to. There he runs into Yotsuba again, this time in Yotsuba's clothes. He eventually figures it out and begins to chase her again. They start playing Warlord Shiritori in the middle of the chase. If you don't know what Shiritori is, it's like a word chain game where you have to say one word and the other person has to answer it with another one that starts with the same letter the other ends in. But they do it with Japanese warlords, while also fucking dying from being out of breath. They eventually fall on the ground because of lack of oxygen and Miku starts hey, what the fuck? They talk a bit about how Miku feels like shit compared to her sisters and how she feels like she isn't special, and so Futaro basically tells her to shut the hell up because she is and has potential to be a good student, which is kinda nice actually, and finally wins her over, and the episode ends. I do have to say, I did find the chasing kind of funny, not like bursting with laughter, but it was pretty decent. Anyway, episode 3. Uesugi is apparently too broke to understand how doors work and nah, you know what? Fuck that. These doors are weird. I don't like them. They're too rich people for me. You're privileged, Miku. They do another roll call where these two tell him to go fuck himself, and then this scene happens. Anyway, he tries teaching them again, but it goes about as well as you'd expect because of this bitch Nino pulling off some crazy person shit again, like threatening to drag Futaro again, or sending Yotsuba away, telling Itsuki to fuck off and reminding Ichiki that she has to go to the casting couch. She tries to pull the same shit with Miku, but it doesn't work, so she immediately calls sus and starts questioning them, but it turns into more of a roast battle between Miku and Nino, and then somehow it turns into a cookout between them, where they make food for him? I don't know, man, this shit is fucking weird. Such is life of harem anime, I guess. Anyway, Nino makes a Dutch baby, whatever the fuck that is, and Miko makes an omurice. But it's shit. Though I guess it doesn't matter, because Futaro pussies out and says they're both good, and so Nino throws a tantrum and leaves, and so does Uesugi. But he forgot his flashcard, so he comes back and finds Nino fucking half naked on the couch, blind and absolutely unaware of anything. You'd think she'd understand it was him after he spoke, but no, she's just fucking stupid. The context as to why she's in a towel is that she took a shower when he left. That's it. Anyway, in this whole sequence we get to find out as to why she's such a cunt all the time. And the reason is, she just doesn't like him. I think she's jealous or something, I don't know. Then the screen cuts to Ichika and I fucking told you, by the way. I told you she's a porn star, but you didn't believe me. You thought it was a joke, but no! She is! Then it goes back to Futaro getting absolutely caught in 4K, HD, ultra-wide, IMAX even. He gets absolutely got. Brother, there is no way out from this. What can I say except unlucky? They take him to family card. Get it? Because... Okay, I'll shut up. So anyway, Miku takes his side because, well, it is kinda her fault, she's the one that let him in, and then these two start arguing about some stupid shit. Women, am I right, fellas? Nino still tries to start some shit, and Miku has her mind completely changed by her amazing point, so she tells Futaro to kill himself. Like, for real. They eventually figure out what happened, but not without calling him cringe and Nino rushing out, but this time actually outside. So when Futaro leaves, he sees her outside the building. She tells him to go fuck himself, which he does, but still comes back to talk things out. And just as she's about to have a revelation that maybe being a bitch all the time isn't a good idea, she bitches out again and doesn't change anything about her behavior. So, fun. Mr. Mainfella gets all horny at the thought of not having to deal with the Five Sisters shit for a whole day and starts studying. Nerd. He doesn't even get through one sentence without building himself a plan for the next tutoring session. But his laments of torment get broken up by Itsuki, pulling up with the cash for dealing with them. And like, holy shit, he got paid fucking 50k yen for 2 days. Google says it's 336 USD. That is insane, actually, what the hell? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because he's brain dead and doesn't want it, until Itsuki tells him that he's more of a therapist for the 5 of them instead of a tutor, so he just gives the money to Raika. Raika is the sister, by the way, which she just instantly gambles away. I guess now we know why the family's in debt. The 3 of them just chill in the arcade and play for a bit. After the date, they find the other 4 dumbasses and go to the festival, but only after they do their homework. Bro is cruel. They all just hang out and do stuff together, except him because he doesn't like having fun apparently. When they all group up together again, Ichika starts undressing. I don't know what's her problem, but she gets stopped by her producer's phone call. While she's talking, Yotsuba thinks of a plan how to kidnap Raika and wants to marry Uesugi so they can become sisters legally. And then Ichika comes back again to pick up the girls and buy a shit ton of food. They all do a bit of splitting and rejoining, so sometimes they're together in a scene and sometimes they're alone. In one of these times, Miku shares her mother's love for fireworks and how she took them to see them every year. And once she has passed, they kept going to the festivals as a way to reconnect. What a nice and heartwarming scene. Anyway, I have a question. How do you give birth to quintuplets? I know it's possible, there was even this one woman with sextuplets, but like, still, it can't be safe, right? There's gotta be like a higher risk of something happening. I don't know, I probably sound stupid right now. I'm no fucking woman doctor. If you want to, you can educate me in the comments. Moving on, they all get lost eventually, and just when Nino is about to fucking die from being trampled by a lot of people, Futaro grabs her and saves her life. And yo, romance! When they get to the thingy Nino rented out to see the fireworks, there is no one there, which like, who would have fucking thunk, Nino? You never told them where it is! They chill on their roof and insult each other for a bit, but then they notice Ichika standing on the ground, ominously, so Futaro goes to get her. But her pimp tells him to fuck off and Houdini's out of there. After that, he finds Miku and they sit down together talking about Ichika's suspicious activities with old mustachioed men. Miku manages to spot Itsuki walking around and tells Futaro to go get her. Man, why you gotta do him like that? When they start going back to where they left Miku, Uesugi gets kidnapped by Ichika of all people, and she tells him not to talk about the pimp, and that she can't watch the fireworks with them. and then the episode ends. So every episode after the ending there's the preview, like in most shows, and a segment of Quintuplets trivia where they give fun facts about the characters. In this episode they state that the combined boob size of all the sisters is 441 centimeters. I'll just leave you with that information with no comment from my side. Ichika starts the next episode off by telling Futaro that Johnny Sins is in town, so she has to go to work for a shoot. But before she gets to go, she sees her boss and hides from him. Uesugi gets all weird about it, saying that they aren't even friends and he's just a tutor. He's been on this for a while actually, I just haven't mentioned it because I didn't know where to put it. But going back to the episode, Ichika tells him that he's being an asshole, and he realizes that he has been an asshole for quite a while. I wonder if he's actually supposed to be that socially unaware, or if it's just bad writing. The pink-haired sister tells him a bit about her job. This dude is actually the cameraman, which makes this even worse somehow. And then the conversation gets broken up by the cameraman assaulting Miku, thinking it's Ichika. Futaro manages to snatch her out of the guy's hand, so he's like, "Hey man, what the hell? That's my actress you got there, what are you doing?" Which is how these two find out about her job. Mustache guy takes Ichika by hand, this time the correct one, and then leaves her by the road to get the car. Futaro fucking once again enters the scene. This is annoying, why do they keep making them split and rejoin in the next scene all the time? I can't even speedrun this shit correctly because the continuity will get fucked. Man, going back to the show, Ichika wants to practice the script for an audition with him. Ironically, he plays the role of a teacher and Ichika the role of a student thanking him. When they finish and Ichika says her goodbye, Futaro just snaps at her, that her smile is annoying because it isn't real, and that she fakes it to keep her emotions for herself. It's actually a serious scene where they talk about why they do things that they do and how they feel about it. Like Uesugi feels bad because he isn't actually doing anything during the tutoring classes, and Ichika started acting without telling anyone and is scared of failing. She eventually does leave and gets to the audition place late, and apparently does really well considering how the judges reacted. When the two movie people leave and find Futaro outside, big chilling, asleep with his eyes wide open, they wake him up, and the mustache man congratulates him on pulling the best out of Ichika and confesses to him. Don't worry, man, he doesn't deserve you anyway. While all that was happening, the other girls called up each other to meet in a park that Futaro just took Ichika to. And then the six of them continued this being the best episode yet, at least in terms of having growth, because they all just admit to tolerating, in some cases even liking each other, and apologizing for being assholes. They finally get to watch the fireworks together because they set off their own, and just chill being happy as the episode ends. But unfortunately there is more. And oh hey look, they actually study in this one. Or at least they try to, and it's all because of upcoming exams. That of course means incredible sexual arousement from him, which he immediately shows by harassing Itsuki and calling her stupid. He never learns, does he? He also never stops doing these weird fucking sexual innuendos when talking about studying. Like seriously, what the hell is this? A very deserved slap. He meets up with the other girls that don't currently hate him, and explains that they need to get their shit together if they want to pass the exams. Which Miku actually does, god damn! When going home, he dozes off trying to figure out a plan to teach them more, when Ichika just moans into his ear. Good to see she's back to her usual shit after trying normal acting for one time, but she does make a good point. He is trying a bit too hard. Later on his journey to home, Itsuki comes up running after him, and after calling him an idiot, calls her dad and gives the phone to him. The way their conversation goes is the father tells Futaro that if the sisters don't pass the upcoming exams, he will twist Uesugi's right nut off and force him to eat it. I'm pretty sure he didn't need the extra motivation, considering how suspiciously excited he gets whenever he gets them to study, but I guess it won't hurt. Itsuki and Futaro get in a bit of a roast battle. Again, this time I'm entirely on his side though. How petty can you be? She only rejects his help because he didn't want the t-shirt the first episode. That's just cringe. She then gets angry at him because, oh, you're only doing your job for the money. Like, bitch, what the fuck do you mean by that? Bunch of time goes by and the man, the myth, the legend appears at the sister's house, again, trying to get them to study way more than a normal human being should. But this time he has an actually understandable reason. It doesn't really work because these three are tired, Nino still tries to make him go away, and Itsuki is being Itsuki. But, you wouldn't believe it, Ichika makes him stay overnight for a study crunch. While Futaro is chilling in the bath, Itsuki comes up to the door and asks why he wanted to see her, which he didn't, but he did take the chance to talk to her. He apologizes for the previous day and admits to the threat their father made. Yeah, it was quite obviously Nino, or at least anyone else. Anyway, he's in a bit of a pickle, one might say. When he finally gets out, Ichika tries to make Miku admit she likes him, and Nino does Nino things, but now she has the nuke launch codes basically. They all ask him questions about the stuff they want to learn, and, Yo! Fuck yeah, Yotsuba, let's go! He agrees to answer that question, but only after they write an essay. Anyway, quality number 3 is being always cheerful, a W for Yotsuba. Number 2 is being good at cooking, a W for Nino, but L for Miku. Quality number 1, however, is caring for her brother. Nino gets unbelievably angry at this information because that's just his sister, which is fair. Ichika still tries to make him fall for Miku, even though he just said he doesn't care about dating. We truly are rom-comming with this one. Ichika takes Uesugi to the balcony to talk about Itsuki and that she isn't as bad as she seems. Which, I don't know man, she keeps making it look like it. During that conversation, he keeps complimenting Ichika, which is a new thing for our main hero of the story, which grows the relationship between these two again. He then finally gets to sleep in a bed for the first time in his life, apparently. This is the end of episode 6 and at the same time this video because god damn this shit takes time. I tried doing something different, let me know if you liked it and if you want more. I can make a part 2 for this and finish the season, or maybe if you want something entirely different. Thanks for watching anyway. As always, I wish you a day and a solid goodbye.